Hi, I'm Glenn.
And I'm Jerry.
Welcome to this episode of Great Games, Better Brains. I asked Jerry to come today because he's the expert on Second Life. One of our earlier episodes, we talked about Second Life, this 3D virtual environment, live action, avatar, blah, blah, blah.
No point.
Nope. Yeah, there's no point to it, by the way. You're going to have to go back and look at our other earlier episode to get the full...
Drives people crazy.
That's it.
Yeah.
I've got some questions about Second Life, and I know parents have questions about Second Life. And one of the questions that came up after our earlier episodes, well, wait a second, Second Life, if only people over the age of 18 can get in, what's the point? And we talked about having parents come in and create the account and then monitor their students when they're there and their kids are in there. I think that's a great way to have kids and parents work together and create content. Yeah. And just quick example, my own son got really into Second Life a year or so ago, and I didn't buy into it quite as heavily as he did, but I would log in, he would get in there, I'd monitor what he was doing, where he was at, created lots of content. He even made some money selling some content, different things. Cool. Of course, he spent it buying somebody else's content.
Well, yeah, that's what you do.
One of the questions was, well, wait a second, I'm not going to be around all the time to monitor. Is there an option? And we did mention on the early episode of something called Teen Second Life, which is designed, it's a grid, it's this online, same idea, online 3D virtual environment designed for kids. Exactly. So tell me some more about that and how kids can get into it and what parents need to know. Tell us some more about that.
Yeah, it's really nice that Teen Second Life exists because you do have to be, or you're supposed to be 18 to be in Second Life. And Second Life's a really rich, well, constructed environment, all kinds of cool stuff. But it's kind of a little bit too free-flowing for me to be comfortable with younger students to be in there. And basically,
unsupervised.
And so they created Teen Second Life, and it's a parallel universe in a sense, but there's different resources and materials there. But it is only for folks that are between 13 and 17 years of age. And any adult, and for an adult to be in Teen Second Life, they have to go through an extensive background check. So, and they only really allow people who are in education. So for me to get on, I would have to prove my credentials as an educator and have a background check. So, that's really reassuring. You could turn your kids loose in there and be pretty sure that if there is an adult in there, they're at least a responsible adult. And folks, because it's like real Second Life, everything that's there has been created by the people that use that universe. There's a lot of really neat stuff. There's an organization called Global Kids that has some phenomenal resources in there, all created by kids, but from all over the world.
Supervised by this adult organization.
By teachers. And there are some wonderful resources there. It may not be quite as rich as the true Second Life, but there's a lot there. Global Kids has kids from all over the world talking about issues in their own countries. It's just a really neat environment.
It's a nice way to have your kid talk with a kid in Europe or talk with a kid in Africa or Asia or another part of the United States.
Because it really doesn't matter where in the world you are because it's a virtual universe.
You're in that 3D
exactly,
place.
3D universe.
Well, one of the questions I also had too, if kids are in there and adults aren't, is there like, if I send my kid to school, they go out on recess, there's a recess supervisor and there's like Linden Lab people walking around that kids can get help from.
Just like in the main grid, there are Linden Lab folks, the people that own and control Second Life, they monitor what's going on. If I'm acting up, I will be ejected from Second Life. Same tokens, Teen Second Life, if somebody's out of line, they'll either be ejected or barred or banned from the world. So it's a fairly safe, reasonably safe place to go, and there's a lot of great resources there. Kids can build, gosh, I heard of a Shakespearean theater, like the Globe Theater, that was completely reproduced in Second Life. And students actually acted out the play using their virtual...
So instead of making the Globe Theater with matchsticks and
cardboard
tongue depressors, I can just make it really right there.
Absolutely. So think of the possibilities there. It's a rich environment.
So it's a really cool tool, and it's designed just for kids. Second Life is the adult version, and you can get in and you can go with your kids, and there's some stuff that you can mess around in there. And there really are, like I said, teachers have been taking their kids into the adult world for a long time with supervision and monitoring what's going on. The Teen Second Life is designed for teens, 13 to 17, designed just for kids, and the adults are banned unless they're educators.
Right, and it also is free. You can get a $10 a month account that allows you to own land and build things. But you can go in there without a nickel in your pocket and have a real nice
again, that's
experience.
sl.com.
Yes, Second Life. Just do a Google search for Second Life or Linden Labs or Teen Second Life, and it'll pull up a nice page that gives you sort of an overview, and it gives you a link to go ahead and download the client software, install it. You have to have a fairly decent computer to run it. You know, fairly good. But free of charge, download the client, create an account, and boom, off you go.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Thanks, Jerry.
All right.
We'll see you next time on Great Games, Better Brains. Thanks for coming.